Hey there guys, what's up? It's your buddy mikeyperion here and I hope you have a great day because for today we are now at episode 8 of our Let's Play Minecraft 1.14.3 Hardcore series, and now we're trying to collect some of these stones here in our underground base because first we are going to need to replenish our supplies of stones, and secondly, well, we are supposed to do this in the future anyway in order for us to expand our base. Well, to be honest, I'm not totally fan of these underground bases because I kind of feel like a little claustrophobic inside here. Well, although we have planned this in the beginning of the series because, well, we have found a witch hut above this one. Well, we're actually underneath a swamp biome. Well, that's why we have our base here. Well, I'm not sure if we're going to move our base somewhere else in the future, and I think our inventory is full now. But anyway, so well, although probably we can do some renovations here in the future because I kind of don't feel this place, to be honest. Well, but probably we can do some more of like expansion of our space here, but we're gonna see about that in the future, of course. Not for this episode. So well, for today's episode, well, we are going to build our bridges connecting our base to the mainland. Well, as you may have known, our base is in the middle of the swamp, in the middle of the waters. Of course, we are going to make everything else more accessible in the future, like we're planning to have our city built in the Taiga Biome Island, and as well as we are going to connect our base to the mainland in the south. Well, yet still, this is gonna be a building episode in terms of like, well, the expanse of our build for today's episode. Hopefully we can build both of the bridges, especially that they're kind of far from the mainlands actually. Well, that's for today's episode, but anyways, of course, we're gonna see if we're going to be able to finish both of the bridges for this episode. But anyway, so well, without further ado, let's get started. And so I guess we already have enough stones for today's build, and secondly, well, I already have started seeing some slimes in that area. Probably it's the best if we're just gonna stick on that level for the meantime because I still don't have any plans on what to do there yet except for a tree farm. But that is still tentative though. But yeah, well, we'll still have a couple of farms that we need to include in this underground base, and probably, well, let's just make sure that we have the right level for us to do that, especially if we're going to build a tree farm there and we're gonna use some grass blocks. Well, the slimes can still spawn there, right? So for now, we just need to, well, of course, mend our tool before we start our build. But anyway, so well, after this, well, we're gonna start our building session. And from the last episode, we already have done our structure right over here, which is this building is still a name, right? But since it's like a gateway to our city, probably we can call this like a bridgeway because we're going to build a bridge connecting to this island right over here. And as well as on the other side, well, this is actually the mainland. So basically, we are going to connect this building right over here to somewhere right over here, probably on this tree, I guess. That's feasible enough, I think so. And let's try to get to our platform. It didn't make it though. But anyway, so well, that's actually the plan for this episode. We are going to connect from here to there. So well, I'm still not sure on what is the design that we are going to implement here. Probably let's start with the layout. And for the longest time in history, I just learned that you can actually hold the map on your left hand. I should have learned this a long time ago because, well, it's actually gonna help us from this type of build, especially when we're very conscious about the shape. Well, we're trying to make like a perfect curve here. So somehow it's a semicircle, or should I say a quarter circle. So now let's do a 1.5, probably another 1.5 slant, something like a 1 and then 2. And now I guess probably this is 1, 2, and yeah. So now I guess we could do 1 by 1, and probably it's kind of hard to explain on what we're trying to do here. But if you're very much familiar in making circles, probably you know what I'm talking about, right? But anyways, of course, well, I kind of need some concentrations in making this, and probably this is already 8. Yeah. So now at least we can already go on that direction, and yeah. But anyway, so well, let me just try to concentrate. And I'll be back. And I guess this curve is perfect enough because we got a 60 degrees going to that direction. So now it's time to place the pillar. So we're going to have 17 intervals for each pillars on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So on that spot, this is where we are going to have our pillars, and on this side it should be 15 since minus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that should be perfectly aligned on the pillar on the other side. So probably, of course, we are also going to that side right over there in order for us to determine the intervals of these pillars. And of course, we are going to have our very own Mikey perion pillar for this build. Well, of course, probably you're already familiar with what we're trying to do here, right, on these pillars. And well, we already have started using stone bricks. And probably later on, we're gonna use andesites in between these blocks. And of course, on the center, we are going to put some lava for us to have the proper lighting. Well, at least it will be visible during nighttime, right? So I guess, well, probably we're gonna implement some sort of like a Venetian architectural style for this bridge. So probably we're gonna have a Venetian bridge. I'm still not sure on how it will go though, but well, that's for us to determine later. And well, I guess we're done with the layout of this bridge right over here, and probably it's already in a perfect shape, but I'm thinking that we're gonna struggle on how we are going to decorate this bridge right over here though. Well, that's for us to check out later. I'm not sure on how we are going to work on this. I already have a picture in my mind on how we are going to make the bridges, but it is more of like a straight line. I mean, it is more of like a straight bridge that we're gonna build over on this direction. Well, I already have the plan on how we are going to make the bridge. Well, like I said, we are going to try to make a Venetian architectural style on these bridges, but probably it's the best for us to start making a layout on this side right over here. Probably, of course, it's gonna be kind of similar on what we have done on the other side, but this one is on a straight line, so I guess this should be much easier, right? And well, we have a bit of a change in our plan here. So basically, we have elevated this bridge right over here, and we are going to have an arc on the bottom of this bridge, which is, I think, that Enderman though, which I think this is more common design for the Venetian bridges that I've seen in Pinterest. And that, well, we are also still going to have our, of course, Mikey perion pillar on these bridges, but probably, hopefully, this will turn out good, and especially that we got more spaces for us to have some more designs for these bridges. And well, I ran out of stones, but anyway, so well, let's grab some more stones and I'll be back. And well, we're actually done with the layout of this bridge right over here, and I think that this is already in a perfect shape because it's just a straight line, right? Let's check it out on a bird's eye view perspective, and well, yeah, I mean, this is just right? I mean, well, I guess it's already in a perfect shape, but I'm still thinking about this curved bridge though. Because, well, most of the bridges in Venice are actually somehow elevated or in an arc, shape, something like that. And probably I'm still thinking if we are going to revise our layout for this curved bridge, because I'm still thinking if we're gonna make it somehow symmetrical, although we have a different shape on this building. Probably we can also elevate this bridge right over here, similar to what we have done there. So probably, well, we still need to do some revision, except that, well, I'm still thinking that, this part right over here is actually an excess if we're going to implement some sort of like elevation. So probably on this section right over here, we're just gonna place some sort of like wall. So it's gonna be some sort of like a road extension, and on that side that we're gonna have some sort of like the elevation. But anyway, so well, let me think about it. And well, this actually took us an hour before we came up with this decision that we're gonna elevate this though. But probably since we already got this curvy design and as well as this elevation, I already have the thought that this is gonna be very complicated to build though. So for this moment, probably it's the best if we're going to start making our design on this straight bridge right over here. And especially that, of course, we're gonna implement a lot of symmetry on this build. And of course, if we're gonna start making the design of the curve, probably it's gonna be a big problem, right? But anyway, so let's start making our design here. So first thing that we have to do is, of course, to mark the arc on the bottom section of this bridge, and well, let's do it. And well, we already have done this layout for this arc underneath this bridge right over here. Well, I was actually expecting a more spacious space between the arc and the road on the top part. And probably, well, I still need to tweak some of the designs that I've been thinking of because, well, I was thinking of more like more intricate details for this design. But apparently, I think I still need to implement some sort of like a little more, simpler designs for this bridge. But anyway, so well, that's for us to find out later on how we're gonna do this. And now let's put some lava inside these pillars because this is our trademark, right? The Mikey perion pillar. But anyway, so well, of course, this is also necessary for us to add some more lighting. And I think I totally forgot to place some walls on that side, but I guess it's fine though. But anyway, so well, there's gonna be another trademark that we're gonna do later on. I'm thinking of some sort of like a flower pot, which is kind of similar to what we have in the Victorian gardens, but that for us to see later on once we already have established the most of the architectural designs for this build. And I think this is good enough for the meantime. And I also have used some nether bricks on the face or on the walls on that side. And probably we should add some more of those stripes that I'm thinking of, which is kind of similar to any Venetian architectural style. But of course, that's for us to find out later. But anyway, so well, let me try to replicate this design on the other sides and I'll be back. And talking about the stripes I've been mentioning, so basically we're using these andesite walls that will, well, just to add more detail and decor in our bridges. So let's do this same design on the other side right over here. Like I said, we'll be doing a lot of symmetry for this build. That's why it's kind of complicated to do, especially that we have to be precise, right? But anyway, so we still need to add some nether bricks on the back part of this wall, and my elytra is wearing out. Because I've been checking out this design a lot of times earlier. So probably first, let's grab some nether bricks, and I think it's also time to repair our our elytra. So let's check out our supplies of nether bricks. Yes, we still have enough of this, and now let's repair our elytra before we lose this stuff. But anyway, so well, let me try to repair this and I'll be back. And so far our design is working pretty well. I think so, right? Especially that somehow I still feel that this design is actually, well, Venetian, right? So basically we just need to copy this design over here on the other side right over there. Of course it has to be flipped, right? Of course it's descending, or should I say ascending? Yeah, so let's replicate that design. So if you guys are asking me on how do I make concepts, or how do I conceptualize our build before we actually make it here in Minecraft, so basically first what I do is I actually take inspiration, of course, from the internet. Of course, like for example this one, I try to search some Venetian bridges design, especially in Pinterest. Actually, Pinterest has been very useful for me. So I think we have to replace this with some andesites because the space is very limited, right? But anyway, so well, most of the time I just try to collect a lot of pictures of those similar themes that we have for, well, or what we plan to do for our episode. So that's actually the first thing that I normally do. I just search on the internet. I just try to collect as much pictures as I can, and then I try to make some inspiration, or I try to have some inspiration from those pictures. And I totally forgot if we're going to place some stair blocks on this corner here, but let's just check it out later. And yeah, so now let's place some stair blocks on the gaps between these andesites and also on the top part as much as possible. We're trying to add some, texture by using these stairs, and as well as sometimes we also use some half slabs if the space is not enough. So basically this is also, these stair blocks, except for this one that you have misplaced, it actually adds to the texture, something like that, right? But anyway, so well, I guess that's my take for that. So if you're asking me on how do I plan this build, so basically I take inspirations from some pictures over the internet, and just try to not collect, but more of like collaborate or combine those ideas and come up with some sort of like inspiration on how to make our builds. And I guess, well, that can be applied to you as well, guys. So if you're planning to do some sort of like beautiful builds in your world, probably that's the best tip that I could give, right? So let's check it out if that stair is actually in there. If we actually have to replace that reverse stair. So on this side, like I said, we have to be precise with our symmetrical patterns. And yeah, yes. So now, well, let's just place that reverse stair blocks on the other side, right? But anyway, so well, I'll just be continued doing this. And now we're actually done with the main structure of our bridge. So basically now it's time to pave the road, but I'm thinking that we have to use, well, some clays or some bricks, but well, I haven't smelted it yet. So far, well, here's what we have accomplished. And I guess the design is really looking awesome, but I'm still thinking that it's still kind of dark in between, right? Well, probably we can add some more lighting later on. But for now, I guess what we need to do is first to, well, lay down the path or the road. Of course, that's what we actually need, right? So let's check it out from this view right over here. And yeah, well, it looks pretty good, right? But for now, well, we have to continue working on this and I'll be back. I was trying to collect some more clays, but apparently I just realized my shovel is still at efficiency 3. So now let's enchant this. That's really expensive though. 19. Wow. And how much is if we're going to make this? No, probably I'll just stick to efficiency 4. And well, I should have thought of earlier that we are going to use this, well, clay bricks because this is actually taking me time to build these blocks. But well, I guess this is actually pretty necessary for our build, especially that we're trying to attain some sort of like a Mediterranean, well, architectural style here in our, this place right over here. So somehow, well, I think this is the closest block that we could use for us to have that Mediterranean feel, right? And especially that Venice or Italy is also near to the Mediterranean Sea, so I guess that counts, right? But anyway, so probably, well, we're just gonna build one bridge for this episode because I think the second bridge will be more complicated compared to this one because it's actually curved, right? And probably it's not gonna be on the next episode because I'm thinking that we're gonna take a break from building because we already have done a lot recently. So probably in the next episode we're gonna do some sort of like adventuring, and of course that's for you guys to find out on the next episode. And well, hint, it's gonna be the Ocean Monument. And while waiting for the other bricks to be smelted, let's try to just, well, add some more details in our bridge, like these lampposts. Well, I think this is pretty necessary, especially that it adds more lighting in our build. And yeah, and especially, well, this is actually looking awesome, right? So last lantern, and yeah, so far this is how it looks like. And of course, we still need to add some more of these lanterns, and well, let's do it. And now we're trying to claim another trademark, which is actually our design for this planter or for this flower pot, which is actually somehow it's similar to a Victorian planter. But of course, in the Minecraft world, I think it's me who has conceptualized this, which is, well, this is actually looking familiar with you guys, right? I mean, probably some of you guys already have seen this in some gardens, in some palaces that you have been to. So probably, well, this is how it looks like. So basically, well, like I said, this is our planter now. Probably we can already call this like a mikeyperion's planter or a flower pot, and well, it's looking awesome, right? But so far, well, I should claim this already, right? And well, the last thing that we actually have forgotten to work on is actually this archway right over here, which is actually looking awesome. And we also have connected this floor to our bridge right over there, which is partially elevated, and as well as, of course, this archway is totally looking awesome so far. Well, it's not much of a detail, but I'm totally happy that we have actually remembered working on that. But so far, I'm totally happy on what we have accomplished here for this episode. Well, we only have done one bridge, but this is actually a very serious building episode for me, especially that the design is very complex and very detailed. And well, the shape as well is a no joke for me. And I'm thinking that on how much struggle that we are going to work on if we're going to make the second bridge with this similar design. And so far, I'm totally happy on what we have accomplished here. And like I said, well, on the second bridge, probably it's gonna be on the next episode because, well, like I said, I want to take a break from our building sessions because, well, I'm kind of stressed out building these bridges, to be honest. Well, but at least I think it pays off, right? And especially that this is looking pretty awesome. And actually, this is the first time I've done something Venetian in our builds. And well, and the feel of it, I mean, the feel of passing by this bridge is also feeling awesome, right? But anyways, and also, well, I haven't connected it actually on the land right over there. And probably I'm gonna do that off cam because that's only probably just gonna be some terraforming, right? But anyway, so well, I think that's it for this episode. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like, and make sure to subscribe. This has been Mikey Perion, and I'll see you guys next time.